Hi, my name is Marianne Silva, and I've worked with Brie about 2 years ago in her 6-month program. And when I came to Brie, I was working as a clinical social worker, and I had a really good income, but there was something going on, and at the end of the month, I was going through, all my money that was coming in, and over the years, I had accumulated some credit card debt that I just felt really, really bad about. And I came to her with these beliefs that so much of my self-worth was related to money. I was feeling a lot of shame, thinking, how did I get myself into this? And all of those beliefs where people said, if you work in mental health, if you're a social worker, you'll never make any money. I really think that I started to internalize some of those messages. And over the time that we worked together, we were really able to see that I was actually doing fine. I had more than I needed by far, and that the money didn't have anything to do with who I was or what I was worth or anything in that way. What was really helpful was that in the first time that we worked together, I found out that I had about an $800 a month bleed. So this was money that was just going to God knows what, coffee, throw pillows, sandwiches, just stuff that really didn't have like a purpose in terms of the longer term things that I really wanted, and the things that brought me joy. So with some of the systems that she helped me create, I've really been able to have this sustainable change where we were able to thank my debt, thank the purpose that it served. I was able to spend 3 months home with my son, not being paid for that time away from work, and so to be able to thank the debt for giving me the opportunity to be able to do that, but then also to be able to get on a track to know that I didn't need to amass that debt. I didn't need to bleed that money out every month because that wasn't dependent on my worth, and that I had what I needed and more. And I think that when I was able to drop some of those limiting beliefs, I was really able to bring in so much, even though I wasn't necessarily kind of going out looking for it in a way. So things that I wanted to do in terms of moving forward in my career, kind of bringing more money in, it just started to happen, so I was able to get a pretty great promotion at work. My business that I have on the side is now really being transformed into a way that I want to kind of live my life. So being able to work, when and where I want with it, rather than being tied to a physical space and time. And a lot of the things that was causing me anxiety that would then play out in my relationship has really kind of gone away. So my husband and I are just on such a better page with that. We actually opened our first joint account. We've been together for 13 years, but now we don't argue over who's going to pay this or who's going to pay that. It's just the money's there when we need it, because we have all these systems put in place where we don't need to depend on the debt for those, small things that really aren't emergencies. They're things that we know you have to pay in the course of a year just because of it's expected that you have to fill the oil and the car taxes are going to come in. And, those are things that are not emergencies, things that we plan for now and that we're aware of. And I don't need to fill those voids with that $800 bleed anymore. And so that money is being directed into a way that is really going towards the things that we love and that we want to do in our life.